Hi, welcome back to the channel. Another week of training and getting back to a somewhat normal schedule after traveling.
Going in! 3, 2, 1, go!
So it's Sunday. It's just been a week of trying to get back into the swing of things after training. I'm out here with the dogs. You might hear them or see them because she's jumping and she's not supposed to. No, she's not. But I thought I would share. It was we had some warm weather this week. I thought I would share some fun in the sun with the dogs, and we'll talk about training here in a second. Sadie, what did we get? What did we get? Yeah! We got a new puppy pool. Get in there. Show me how it works. Get in there, show me how it works. No, we'll play with the toys in a minute. Leave those over there. Sadie, let's get in the pool. Get into Sadie's size pool. There it is. Yeah, we gotta put some water in it. Do you like it? Yeah! Silly girl. Here goes again. Why is going at it from that angle different? Drying off after water fun. Sadie. There's that pretty face. Are you the sweetest? Good girl. Oh, where you going? So we've really enjoyed the warmer weather this week after that little bit of a cold snap. The only bummer thing is the cold snap killed a whole bunch of our, flowers and our blueberry bushes, just like last year. So a little update on 5K training. I don't think I've really mentioned it the past couple of weeks, but there was other stuff going on. I've kind of let go of that goal. I kept reminding myself when runs were feeling kind of hard after I sprained my ankle that I'm not actually training for a race time per se. I was just going to go out and run the 5K distance and see if I could beat my time from when I did it before. So I don't know if that's going to happen just because the sprained ankle put me a little bit behind, but I do have the actual, 5K for fun, the hell and back race. I'm still going to do it. I need to see if I can find an ankle brace or something. It's just some support for my ankle because I think I'll need it on that trail. But yesterday I ran 6 miles and actually did a workout that was actually supposed to be done during the week. I just did it as my long run because it ended up being 6 miles worth of work. But it was another run that made me feel good about my 10K goal of getting a proof of time. But I realized that that's the farthest I've run since marathon weekend. Because I've just, up to then, the most I'd ever ran was 5. I did a couple 4-mile runs and then a couple 5-mile runs. So that was the farthest I'd run since marathon weekend. And we're approaching 3 months since then. So, but things are starting to feel normal again, finally. Like I said, the sprained ankle kind of put me behind a little bit. Wine and Dine registration, I believe. This has been the longest week ever, but I believe that was this week. And it seems like it was a different kind of chaos. You'd think after so many years that Run Disney would figure out how to run a smooth registration, but if there was one race I wish I could do, as far as like doing more than one race in a year, I love those themes, so I hope maybe they'll hold, please. So anyway, Wine and Dine registration. I hope that they'll circle back around. I'm one of those Figment lovers, so I hope they circle back around to Figment and Encanto at some point. But so we'll do our run with Nicky, another 6 days worth. Can't believe that this season of Lent has gone by so quickly. We only have 2 more weeks. But we got day 23 through day 28. Alright, day 23. 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 7. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. Peter explains that there is deep and refining purpose in the testing of our faith. In fact, these trials remove the comfort of idealism and provide not only an opportunity for us to see what we're actually made of, but a moment to give God glory through it. James 1 verses 2 through 3 suggests that we consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Sometimes I have a hard time with that. Like, I know that this is truth, looking back on hard times that I've gone through. And really, when I think I've known so many people that have gone through much harder things than me. But that, you know, that perseverance is always on the other side. But still, when you're in the midst of it and you read a verse like that, you're like, really? And I guess it's just knowing the truth from past experiences, that when you're in a current trial, just remembering what God has done is the way you deal with the really, is this really happening again of it all type deal. I have a hard time with that sometimes. Day 24. Matthew chapter 10 verse 32. Whoever acknowledges me before others, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before others, I will disown before my Father in heaven. This day reminds me of, all the stories you hear. Well, it's 2 different types of stories. The stories of those, here in America that, will stand up for their faith. The one thing that always comes to my mind, and it was because I was in middle school when it happened, but the Columbine shooting, where and I can't remember her name. Maybe her name, I want to say Rachel, but that doesn't sound right. But the girl who stood up for her faith in front of the shooter, and she ended up, getting shot by him. But I always think of that girl, probably because it felt very, very real, because I was around that same age. But then also the stories that you hear of those that are persecuted, overseas, and they have to be very careful when they're doing ministry with others, because it's massively dangerous over there overseas. But in that same instance, if they were confronted for their faith, they wouldn't lie. They would proudly proclaim it. And it really is like a life or death thing. And that's always what I think of when I think of verses like that. Whoever acknowledges me before others, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. Day 25, Acts chapter 14. We must go through many hardships to enter the kingdom of heaven. The reality is that no one wants to talk about the climb, just the arrival. We live in a time where everybody wants to receive the benefits of walking the godly life, but no one wants to pay the price. These tribulations as a Christian don't mean that you're not living in God's goodness. It just means you're not living in Satan's deception. So it gives the enemy a reason to seek to destroy you in every form. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 10 through 12. But you have carefully followed my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, love, perseverance, persecutions, afflictions, which happened to me at Antioch, at a word I can't pronounce, and then at another word I cannot pronounce, which persecutions I endured, and out of them all the Lord delivered me. Yes, and all who desire to live godly in Christ Jesus will suffer persecution. We mentioned it on another day. I mean, the Bible doesn't make it a secret. It is no secret that walking in God's way for us is not like all sunshine and roses. We do have sunshine and roses. We have those mountaintop times, but there's going to be those valleys too. And that's where I think the devil really tries to play with our mind a little bit. Day 26. Lamentations chapter 3 verse 25. The Lord is good to those who wait hopefully and expectantly for him, to those who seek him. Waiting is no waste in God's economy. Waiting is a challenge for most of us because it goes against what we naturally and culturally do. We live in an age of faster is better. Psalms 37:7 says, "Be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act." Waiting is not only about what you will receive at the end of the wait. Waiting is about who you will become and what happens to you as you wait. And then she lists 4 things that happen while you wait. Your strength will be renewed, your faith will be strengthened, you will develop patience, perseverance, and endurance, and you will build your character. Waiting isn't an interruption of God's plan, it is part of his plan. Wait with hope and expectancy. And I wrote this little note, marathon training, 28 weeks. That is a long training plan. I haven't done enough research to know, the window of, different marathon training plans. I know that the Hal Higdon plan is a little bit shorter, but, training for a marathon takes a long time. And that is what I thought of as, one of the things that I got out of marathon training as far as application to life. Because there's no way to be able to do something like that distance and train for it quickly, as far as I know, But all of those things, I can see where it's mirrored in that training. Because I did Jeff Galloway, the first long run is 3 miles, and you're like, how is this going to help me? Help me run 26, or for me, do the Goofy challenge. But you need every single one of those weeks, and you need every single one of those runs to build your strength, to build that endurance, and just like that in life, we need those times of waiting. We need those mountaintops, like I just mentioned a minute ago. You need those valleys. All of it builds us up. That was the first thing that came to mind when I read day 26 is marathon. How long marathon training was. And why I'm waiting until 2025 to do it again. Or, it'll be training in 2024 for 2025. But anyway, day 27. Isaiah 50, verse 7. Because the sovereign Lord helps me, I will not be disgraced. Therefore have I set my face like flint, and I know I will not be put to shame. Flint is an impenetrable kind of sedimentary rock. When struck against steel, flint produces sparks to start a fire. Setting your face like flint implies an expectation of opposition, yet standing firm in the face of adversity. Jesus valued the outcome as worthy of the price paid to achieve it. Speaking of him, going to the cross for us. Jesus knew he was accomplishing the Father's will to redeem mankind from the slave market of sin and return man to God's family. This is the same race we have been given to run. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Day 28. We are in a very real spiritual battle where the enemy would love to deceive us into being defeated. This particular day, she talks about boxing. And if you've ever watched a boxing match, they'll have different rounds, and in between rounds the boxers will go to their respective corners, and she talks about how in the corner the boxer is met by someone called their corner or their cut man, and this person helps give them either 1 minute rest before they go back in, and they do like first aid, the sponging down, icing injuries, giving water. If you've watched it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And she compares that to what Jesus does for us. With that being said, realize this. Jesus is called the cornerstone of the church. Our success is found and dependent on his foundation alone. We have the best corner man there is. Make sure you are taking time to consult with Jesus, our corner man. It is vital to hear from him. If Jesus defeated death, then there is no thing you can't overcome through him. Very appropriately at the end of our particular section for this week is a quote by Helen Keller: "All the world is full of suffering. It is also full of overcoming." Let me show you what's happening right now. I'll zoom in if I can. They're waiting to come back outside. They're ready to come back outside. So it seems that the theme for the past couple of weeks, majority of the theme anyway, is at least what I'm getting out of it, and I already knew this of course, but you know, sometimes you just need to be reminded. That's why the Bible on some things is very repetitive, but if God repeats things a certain amount of times, you know, it's probably something that we're gonna easily forget if not told. Just like parenting, you know, sometimes you gotta repeat things to your kids. But to not expect life to just be hunky-dory most of the time, but to also remember that he doesn't leave us with no help. And you know, the thing I always tell people is that's why it's important to stay in his word, to remember those promises. And I like to write things down, because I do easily forget things. Like, I tell my kids, if it's not on the grocery list, it is not coming home, most likely. I will probably forget. So I write things down a lot, and I know a lot of people journal, and that's a great way to, you know, when you have a blessing happen, write it down. That way when you're in that valley, you can go back and remember, you know, God's blessings and promises that he always keeps his promises, and it's good to have that. So I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone's having beautiful weather like we are here. I know the dogs are very excited to come back outside in this warm weather. So we have 2 more weeks of Run with Nicky, and I don't know what videos are going to look like after that, but I know not too long after that is our Helen back 5K race, which is always really fun. We got some new friends joining us this time, so that'll be a good time. I'll be excited to share that. And I've got Lynchburg coming up, so I'll be able to share a little bit of all the fun things there. You know, it's a very small town, but it's really small. It'll be fun to kind of share what we're going to be doing. It'll be a good time going with some friends. So what else is coming up? Oh, hopefully I'll be able to share a new race that I hopefully will be able to register for here coming up soon. So if I'm able to get registered for it, I'll be able to share it on here. But it's one I'm very, very much looking forward to. So be sure to give this video a like, comment, did you try to register for Wine and Dine? Did you get in? What do you think of the themes? And what is your guesstimation on whether Run Disney will ever be able to have a smooth registration? And subscribe. We do have some fun things coming up, and we're about 90% prepared and almost ready to share a fun summer trip that we'll be doing. So I'm super excited about that. Always remember that you are God's masterpiece, and I'll see you next week. Oh boy, guys, let's go outside. Go on. Oh, we love this weather. We love it. We love it. Sadie, bring it here. That's a good girl.